If you have problems with bad posture, correcting it as soon as possible is really important, because what seems now as a minor irregularity will get worse with time. It takes years for our body to change, but if you develop a bad posture and do nothing about it, then you're already on a path to morphing into a hunchback. Okay, maybe the consequences won't be so severe for everyone, but having bad posture can cause pain or soreness and a slew of other undesirable effects. And it's been shown that people with good posture are perceived as more confident and attractive. If a part of your body gets out of line, its weight will pull it down and slowly but surely advance the posture defect. That's why the most hunchbacked people are old. It takes years and years of negligence to restructure the bone frame. I cannot even begin to imagine how many young people will get deformed at older age, seeing so many of them hunched over their phones all the time. A clothing line with extra space for the hump might be a good business idea in the next 20 years. I would call it Slouchski and Hunch. The biggest issue with my posture were rounded shoulders. It's been a problem for as long as I can remember. It means that they are positioned further forward than normal. With the shoulders pulling forward, there is a tendency to slouch as well, especially when sitting down with your elbows on the desk. A few months ago, I started consciously correcting my posture, and there's been a lot of improvements since then. In my opinion, there are 3 key aspects of that process, and we're gonna go through them one by one. Increase the range of motion. When you pull your shoulders forward all the time, your pecs are not being stretched and they are slowly getting less flexible. If you're doing a lot of bench pressing on top of that, you're just adding fuel to the fire. Short and tight chest muscles are making it difficult to hold your shoulders in the proper position, so it's important to stretch them. The best way to do it is using a resistance band or even a scarf or a towel. Here's a couple of stretches that helped me the most. Grab the band like that and then lower it until your forearms are parallel to the ground and to the band. Here you're trying to bring your elbows as close to each other as you can. This exercise can also be done with a towel. This next stretch focuses more on the chest muscles. Grab the band wider and pull your arms backwards until you feel your pecs stretching. You need to keep the elbows extended all the time. This last stretch doesn't require any equipment, you just need a door frame. Block your forearms on the frame and push your chest forward as much as you can. Strengthen the muscles. The second aspect of fixing your posture is making the muscles that pull your shoulders backwards stronger. The muscles that are responsible for pulling the shoulders backwards by bringing your scapulas together are rhomboid and trapezius. If your shoulders are being pushed forward all the time, these muscles aren't used that much, and that's why they need to be strengthened. In the beginning, you don't even have to use weight. You can just do isometric contractions. Hold your arms like you want to show off your biceps and squeeze your scapulas by trying to pull your elbows behind you as far as you can, like this. Hold this position for 2 seconds and repeat for 10 reps. This exercise is great for improving the muscle-mind connection. After you get good at doing contractions, you can try working with resistance. You can use a rubber band to do pulls like that. The goal is to bring the scapulas together and hold the position for a couple of seconds after each rep. Forme habit. The last point is the most important one. It doesn't matter if you have great range of motion and super strong muscles if you don't pull back your shoulders by yourself. This is a conscious action that you have to control. at least until you form a habit, because then it gets automated by your brain. You need to make a connection in your mind between some repetitive physical action that you perform a couple of times a day and the thought of checking up on your posture. Then every time you perform that action, you'll remember to correct your shoulder position. So you need to constantly remind yourself to check on your posture and correct it if it's wrong. A good technique that can help you with that is using mental hooks. The mental hook that I used was, as weird as it may sound, flushing the toilet. Every time I went to the bathroom, I tried to remember to correct my posture. After a while, this thought started to pop up in my mind by itself, and I was reminded to correct my shoulders at least a couple of times a day. After a couple of weeks of doing that, your subconscious will take over and do most of the posture correcting for you. You can also create multiple mental hooks to increase the frequency of the posture controlling thought appearing and thus speed up the process of forming the habit. For example, you can correct your posture every time you go in or out of your room, and so on. If you still have a hard time remembering, you can put a sticky note saying check your posture or something similar next to the flusher or on a door frame. Just don't try to form multiple new habits this way at once, or the message will get lost in the crowd and you'll change nothing. One at a time is the way to go here. If you're diligent about it, the process of creating the habit should take just a couple of weeks and you'll begin to keep the right posture without thinking about it.